So today we start part 1 of Zohar, chapter 32 of Mishpatim. The main theme is the title, which is called The Old Sage, Saba. There are 7 lands. There are 7 names for the lands, which is 7 kinds of lands. Eretz, which is land, Adama, which is ground, Gai, which is valley, Nishya, which is forgetfulness, Tzia, which is wilderness, Tevel, which is world, and Arka. Ruach, or spirit, that leaves the world without growing or expanding the world, in other words, it has no kids, incarnates and finds no rest as a stone in a sling, till he finds a redeemer to redeem him, placing him into the very vessel or the spouse, spirit to spirit, that he employed and cleaved to in Ruach, and Nefesh, that used to be his, establishing him as before. So he who was just built and came into the world, a new creature, has no soulmate through his mother. His father's like his brother. So let me clarify. A man died with no kids. The wife that lived after him, a man passed away, he had no kids. So his wife is with someone else, and he now comes in as her child, right? He's like his wife's, his mother, who was his soulmate, is now his mother. And his father is like his brother because it's his wife's husband. The grief of the one uprooted from the world of the male returned to this world as female. In other words, he comes as in the world of the female. He comes through the mother. First he was the man, and he wasn't able to have a kid, but he incarnates through the woman. Now it's through her world, the female. He had no wife proclaimed him since he's in this world of the female. He doesn't have a world. He came through the wife as his mother. Since he's in the world of the female, can only through mercy meet a woman who has no husband. In other words, maybe the husband died childless, maybe he died childless, or the body's like a priest's daughter where it has no share behind the curtain, like the masculine does, basically uprooted and divorced. In other words, through mercy, there might be someone that could match him. If spirit doesn't attain the proper correction and reincarnation, then it does not eat of the spiritual holy food because it's considered a stranger, even in the female world. So a woman's first husband's spirit can tap away, making her remember and cry and sigh for him, like a snake fighting the second husband's spirit inside of her, like this new second husband and the previous husband who passed away, they're like fighting in her. The new second husband can remove the assailing first husband's spirit, and then the first leaves that world, goes to the grave, and is seen in the dreams or in the forms according to the first spirit, the way it is in the world, in that world said in this world. But sometimes the first spirit is speaks ill or attacks till it takes it even out of the world. She has now started being in the category of a widow with 2 dead husbands, namely the angel of death is strong in her. Women are fashioned in the shape of the altar, therefore inheriting 7 blessings, all from the congregation of Israel, which is what sheds tears for a man who divorces his first wife. In other words, the altar sheds tears. The altar is like, the woman is like in the shape of the altar. To divorce, someone has to write a bill and deliver it in her hand, and she can marry another. If her second husband hates her, it's not her fault, because she was willing to be with him and not another. The river from Eden never ceases multiplying, increasing and producing fruit, while another El is sterile and never has any desire, doesn't fertilize or produce fruit, for had it produced fruit, it would have troubled the world. So basically it's like a bad seed, like a bad fruit. It says Elohim named angel of good, and the angel of death, very. So Tuesday we know is very good. When it says very good, it's saying good is the angel of good and very is the angel of death. And so anyway, a man who causes the side to increase, the side that is sterile and never has desire to fertilize or produce fruit, basically one who doesn't do what God commanded, pru, even the animals, even the plants are supposed to. A man who causes that side to increase is called evil and never beholds the face of the Shekhinah. I would say it's like the feminine divine aspect, or really the countenance, is the masculine. So this is like the indwelling presence, the divinity, the glow, the inner hovering, the dwelling, the dweller. An incarnated man who transgresses and cleaves to another another God, doesn't produce fruit, no multiplying in the world, and is therefore called an other. The name brought on him called another. A former husband who sent her away, this is in Devarim 24 verse 4, Deuteronomy. So a husband who sent her away may not take her again to be his wife, once she married or cleaved to another, to be enslaved to the lower grade. The Holy One, blessed be He, doesn't wish the farmer to descend from his grade and produce fruit and cleave to a grade that's not his. So now she married someone else. She can't, in that grade, she can't go back to the previous husband. So even if she whores with all the men in the world, if her husband wishes to, he may return to her if she didn't marry another. After she's defiled in his heart to divorce her, even if her second husband dies, so he says, you feel defiled to me, I have to divorce you, and then she has a second husband and he dies, she can't go back to him. That place, that portion. Oved, who's the father of Yishai, the father of David, is said to be an incarnation of Machlon. Machlon was Elimelech's son. Elimelech and Naomi, he had a son, Machlon, who married a Moabite woman before he died, which is not so good, and he didn't have kids. So it's like good from bad. And Peretz, an incarnation of Er. So we have Oved and Peretz. These are the lineage of Judah. We have one of the wives, Judah's firstborn, which was Tamar's husband. Judah was Tamar's husband after the first two sons, Er and she had, one second, let's back up. So he sinned and came outside of her, Er, not for kids, not for good. And then there was the second brother who did that. So then Tamar was with Judah. But Judah didn't change the grade, good from bad, because Boaz incarnated from him and he had children. His first two died, but his third he withheld from Tamar. This is talking about Judah. So Judah had three sons. The first two died because one after another they didn't want to be having children, reproductive, being progenitors. So Judah withheld the son from Tamar. Then Tamar kind of deceived him by disguising herself, and she was with Judah. Then, and so she did dress up. He was with her. They had two kids, Peretz and Samach. So it's like the race of the lion emerged from Judah. Lion cubs, not turned into a lamb or an ox or a kid. He didn't abandon Tamar after the relationship that produced the two sons as levirate for the two sons. It says he was like there's a mitzvah in the Torah, levirate marriage. When a man dies without kids, his brother is given to her to then replenish that lineage. So that's why the second son didn't want to have a child with her. He said, it's going to be like my brother's child. But then Judah had these two sons with her, as if so he was in the same grade. It was like he was replenishing his two sons. He brought her two husbands through her. She bore them from her belly. So if we go back for a second and we say David's grandfather, Oved, is said to be an incarnation of Machlon, who died without kids. And this is because he married a Moabite woman and he didn't have children with her. Then it says how Peretz was an incarnation of Er. Peretz was from Judah, and Boaz incarnated from him, and he did have children. He had the lineage where Ruth, who didn't have a child with the Moabite husband, had a child with Boaz. So we're going to go a little bit off now into a different direction. Joseph was Yesod on earth. Yesod being the foundation, the manifestation, the abundance, the creativity, as Malchus. Malchus being the divinity, sovereignty. Yesod could be like the pubic area, and the Malchus could be like the feet connecting to the mouth. Like walk the talk, stand on your own 2 feet, stand by what you say. So, and Binyamin, the brother of Joseph, rose to Yesod above. Righteous, Zeir Anpin, which is between the thighs. Zeir Anpin is like the small face, but it's relating to saying that he was so pure that even like in his area of being a progenitor, the small face, basically the one that has the ability to do all this, either to not want to have children or to have children, was righteous. The 3 segments of the left leg now we're going to go into the tribes more. We talked about Judah, we talked about Joseph, and now we're going to say the 3 segments of the left leg is Zevulun the upper, the middle is Dan, and Naphtali is the lower. And the 3 segments of the right left is Issachar on top, Gad in the middle, and Asher by the foot. In Bereshis 32:29, it says that the minister of Esav told Jacob, "For you have contended with Elohim." In Yeshaya 60, verse 8, it says, "Who are these that fly as a cloud and as the doves to the window?" Refers to the future to come redemption from exile, because Yisrael will never perish. And now I'm going to say something. If not for this, there would never be hosts or generations in the whole heaven, due to that number attaining this name. Heaven declares for its sake. So the Holy One, blessed be, as a sun that shines from one end of the world to the other. He's a great and strong tree. His top reaches the heights of heaven, and at his ending, his roots spread and strike root in the holy earth. His name is Number. He originates in the upper heaven, and five firmaments hang down to this number. The dust is the first dust, earth is the second corrected one, and the first is as refuse. A voice is roused to inform, saying so. In the second edifice, if he didn't want to be maintained by her or her redemption, the second wife, he goes down to cleave below. So now we're going back to that topic, right? It's a very, very, very long portion of the Zohar, this old sage Saba. That's why I think it's going to be 2 videos. I'm going to stop in a moment, and then I'll do another video about, more of this. But if you don't want to be maintained by her or her redemption, the second wife, he goes down to cleave below, attaching himself to the other side. From now on, torn from the world of the male and the world of the female, he joins the world of the other side, branded with a blemish, and serves him forever. Every blemish pertains to the other side. From the Jubilee is every 50. It's 49. It's 7 times 7. We have 7 days of the week, every 7th, and then we have 7 years. Every 7th is a Shemitah. Every 7th day is a Shabbos. 7 times 7. We also have these cycles, and we know about the Shavuos, the weeks we have from when we leave Egypt on Pesach. Each year we commemorate again, and then the getting of the Torah was 7 weeks later, and the 50th day. So this 50th, this Jubilee, he incarnates again and goes back into the world as before. And also the Jubilee is when people go free, and then the properties revert back to their owners, and so on. So he goes back, cleaving no further than the female world. And if he attains merit, he begets offspring in the world of the female. You see that? If he attains merit, now he's in the world of the female, he can obtain offspring. And if he doesn't have merit, it's as if he was never even when it's as if he never was, even when he incarnates at Jubilee, because he went in himself and went out himself and didn't strive after children. So he moves like a stone in a sling up to that place in the strong rock where the lone spirit blows at once that left his wife, solitary, going like a snake, blowing till he leaves that strong rock place alone, roaming till he finds a redeemer for his improvement. But if someone did marry and try to beget kids, he isn't driven away or having to come out alone, because the Holy One, blessed be, doesn't, withhold reward from anyone. The two incarnate and are able to unite again. So you hear the difference, right? When somebody intentionally doesn't have children, everything we said. Somebody didn't intentionally not have children, God doesn't withhold the reward. They're able to incarnate again and unite again. And while the one who has no spouse has to marry a divorced woman, this one sets his so remember we said that if there's mercy, then this one could marry a woman who was divorced, or a woman who her husband was deceased, somebody who ended up alone. While this one who didn't on purpose not have children, he just didn't for whatever reason, he gets the same wife, and they can attain it if they act well. I will stop here for now, and I think I will record another video in order to finish this topic for Friday, because Friday is a short day in the mind, even when it's a long day, even when candle lighting is not till after 8 o'clock. I still feel sometimes that I want to make sure I could do everything preparing for the Sabbath and not other things like this. So I will probably do the video today shortly, and then continue with the video and then continue with videos after the Sabbath again. So have a blessed evening. Bye.